Good day, Mr. Lazar Pinkanchin, and good day, dear friends. Today we would like to talk about registered migration agent. And Mr. Lazar, today I have the question for you. Could you explain us, as you are a specialist for the migration system, could you tell us who is a migration agent in Australia?
Yeah, sure thing. So hello to your viewers, first of all. If you would allow me to share my screen, I think that will be the best way I can give a bit more information to your viewers. But overall, anyone in Australia who is providing immigration assistance is required by the Australian law to become or to be registered. So if we look at this is a government website, right? mara.gov.au. Anyone can have a look at it. You have a list of requirements for migration agents. And if we look at this section over here, only registered migration agents or legal practitioners, exempt persons, can lawfully provide immigration assistance in Australia. It's a legal requirement under the Migration Act for the migration agent to be registered with the Office of the Migration Agent Registration Authority. So anyone who provides immigration help, this could be consultation or help to prepare a visa application, needs to be registered with this government organization in Australia. So this is just an organization which makes sure that the immigration agents provide the correct, accurate, and also, I guess, fair immigration assistance. It protects consumers from being given the wrong information. It protects consumers from being taken advantage of. So this is pretty much the function of a migration agent.
Okay, let's move to the next question. How can we find a reliable registered immigration agent? Is it possible to find out reliable agents?
Okay, it is possible. Now, the first step again would be to find someone who is registered with this organization, mara.gov.au. Okay. Now, the first step would be to go onto their website and do a search for registered migration agents. This will be the first step. And what you can do, you can type in an agent's name or a person who is stating that they're an agent. So this is my first name. When I do a search, you can see my company registration here, country Australia. You can click on the link and you're able to see information about this particular agent. Every agent is given a special number. Okay, you can see the current registration, so it's registered, and you can see when this registration was last renewed. Okay, every year migration agents need to renew their registrations. Now, for a person to renew their registration, they need to do a certain amount of study to make sure that they're up to date with any immigration law changes. Now, this is the first thing a person can look at. The second thing a person can look at to make sure that they find an agent that can help them is to see what areas this particular agent specializes in, because there's many different visa types. They can also ask questions. How long have you been registered? What visas you work for? What sections? What areas have you focused on? What I guess depending on where the person is from, what languages do you speak? Because sometimes the clients might not speak English very well. So all of these things together can help a client decide which agent they will be using.
Clear. And let's move to third question. Why do we need a registered migration agent? What is the purpose of that?
Yeah, there is a reason. So because the Australian visa system is very complicated and it changes very, very often. So before the pandemic, we will have at least one major change per year, but you also have a number of smaller changes So the law is changing all the time. A migration agent, a registered immigration agent, can help you explain which visa options are available to you, because there's many different visa options. So sometimes a person might think, oh, I would like to come to Australia to work for a little while. But there might be actually a possibility for them to get a permanent visa straight away. Or a person might decide to apply for a visa that doesn't allow them to study or doesn't allow them to work, and then they can get into trouble. Sometimes people are given advice by agents that are not registered to apply for visas that are not applicable to them, and then they get a refusal. So they're spending a lot of time, they're spending a lot of money and a lot of stress for a visa that's not suitable for them. So an agent can recommend what is the best visa for you, the best options. A migration agent can help you prepare your documents and applications. Can be contacting the department to discuss the case, can help you to discuss your case with the department, can prepare and submit visa applications, and can represent you in front of the tribunal. So a migration agent, in short, would be a person who would help you to save time, to save possibly a lot of money, especially if you make a mistake, and will help you to navigate and find the best possible visa or pathway for you.
Very clear explanation. Thank you. My last question. Can registered immigration agent help me for the preparation to the interview in the embassy? Just imagine you helped me to prepare some documents. Good. But the next step, I have to go to the embassy to have an interview. Will you help me?
So at the moment, most visa applicants do not require an interview for Australia. For some other countries, I think the United States, most or all, I'm not really sure about the United States, but a lot of people require interviews. For Australia, only some applicants may be requested to have a phone interview usually. Especially because the embassy that would make a decision maybe in Europe somewhere, there is no requirement for the applicant to visit an embassy. So you might be asked to provide extra documents, you might be interviewed over the phone, but there is no need to actually go to an embassy. And in certain circumstances, for example, if a person needs to be interviewed in Australia, or they need some assistance during an interview, it is possible for an agent to assist. However, that would really depend on the case and on the visa and on the situation.
It means now for a person, it's not necessary to go to the embassy. Mr. Lazar, I would like to know a very interesting question. I hope that it will be interesting for other people who is watching it. Is it safer to use migration agent, and why? From my experience, I can tell you that some people in my country, they have used many times some visa agency services, but the result was unsuccessful. And these people, they have lost their money. At the same time, this agency wanted to give back some part of the money, but this visa agency, and at the same time, this agent also disappeared. It was impossible to find out them. Why this kind of situations happens? Can you tell me about it in detail?
Okay, so the first thing is, even if a person uses a migration agent, that doesn't mean that they will get the visa. However, a registered migration agent, using a migration registered agent who would submit the visa, so it would increase the chances of success. Okay, so a registered migration agent in Australia, because they understand that they've studied the legislation, the law, and they understand how the visa system works, they would then have a higher chance of success, higher chance of getting the visa. Okay. Now, it can also make it easier and faster for the visa to be granted. However, sometimes refusals also happen with registered migration agents. This is why it is very, very important for a person to make sure they have a consultation so we can explain what their options are, what the chances are, and what is the best pathway, what is the best approach, what are the best steps to take. Yeah, we can recommend what is the best visa. If the client follows these instructions, then the chances of success are much, much higher if they use a registered migration agent in Australia with their official government body, than if they use someone from overseas who has not studied or has no experience with the Australian migration system. Now, I am aware of cases I have had some, let's call them clients from Uzbekistan, who got in touch with me because they applied for a visa, and it turned out that the agency or the agent or the person they used in Uzbekistan took their money and gave them fraudulent or fake grant letters. So the visa was not even applied for. And this person disappeared, exactly what you were mentioning. The benefit of using this organization, anyone that's registered with this organization, with MARA, with the Australian government body, is that the agents need to renew their registration every year. And for a person to renew their registration, they have to meet certain requirements. They have to understand how the system works, and they have to be honest, because if they do something wrong, their registration can be cancelled and they're going to lose their license. Okay, so these are just some of the benefits if a person is a registered migration agent. They have to keep a client's money in a separate account, and if the agent does not do the work, they have to give this money back to the client. Okay. If they do the work, then the agent is able to transfer the money into their business account. Agent has to keep a record for 7 years. So by law, an agent has to keep a record of a client for 7 years. So if something occurs and the client makes a complaint, this can be investigated. Okay. As soon as a decision is made, the agent has to notify the client. And I guess the rest of the things are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But the fees and charges also, so the charges for the visas, have to be fair for the work they have completed. Okay.